Today, I'm going to talk to you about something very important. I'm going to talk to you about how to nail an interview. जब आप इंटरव्यू के अंदर जाते हैं तो एम्प्लॉयर आपको उस वक्त evaluate और assessment आपकी हो रही होती है साथ. It's a very good opportunity. Usually the interview is what is going to determine whether you get the job or you don't. आपका जो CV होता है, it is basically a ticket. If your CV is bad, you won't get called for the interview. The CV will be a ticket to allow you to get to the next stage, and the next stage is actually the interview. Interview means you have a very good chance of getting the job. When you go for an interview, you should nail the interview. You should make sure that you are hitting all of the right notes and that you are clearly expressing your skill set and your abilities that match what the employer is looking for. They'll ask all kinds of questions. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? अपने experience के बारे में और बताएं, and what do you enjoy about your job and what do you hate. You can just wait to be asked those questions. But you should go into an interview much more strategically. When you go into the interview, you should be prepared. You should take this as a strategic opportunity for you. So before you go in there, you have to understand what the company does. Once you understand that, understand how the position that you are interviewing for contributes to that success, to either the revenue growth or the efficiency or the increase in sales. Only when you do that will you be able to communicate your value. Now you're in the right frame of mind to answer the questions. Employers are looking for people who are self-starters, who have energy, who have initiative. So going into interview and being very relaxed and laid back and not showing energy will always score against you. And going in with high energy level, using body language, showing enthusiasm will always work for you. People want to hire people who have that energy level. You must dress according to the atmosphere, communicate professionalism. Try to fit in, be professional, dress up just one notch above where the employees of that organization would dress. In an interview, it's important to communicate honesty and integrity. The moment the interviewer perceives that you're hiding something, or you're not being honest about something, or you're answering the same question in two different ways, or you're being a little shady or shifty, it's going to question your whole integrity. And that will be a red flag for your employment. Employers look for intelligence, they look for stability, they look for a track record of success, and they look for an alignment of skills. Now, once the interview begins, you're going to face a few common questions. The interviewer is trying to assess a few things. The interviewer is trying to assess, one, are you the right person for this job? Are you qualified? Two, do you have the right attitude for this job? Do you have the energy, the enthusiasm? Three, do you have integrity? Are you truthful? Are you honest? And four, how well will you fit in with the organization? Classically, an employer will probably ask you, where would you like to be in 5 years? And you can answer that question many different ways, but understand what is really being asked of you. What's being asked is how ambitious are you? And so you might be asked questions like, what is your biggest weakness? Make sure you're able to leave that question with a positive note at the end. What I mean by that is, for example, you're asked, what is your biggest weakness? And you can say, well, my biggest weakness is I lie a lot. I tell a lot of lies. That's obviously not the right way to answer the question, because it puts your integrity into question. You're not trustworthy and probably not a good hire. So the way to answer that question is to highlight something that at times it can be a liability and a weakness, and at times that same attribute can also be an asset for success. Other types of questions that you might be asked are regarding your previous employment history. Employers are interested to know if there's smoke. So they'll scan through your CV and say, hey, look, I see that you worked at company X, Y, and Z for only 8 months. Why were you there for only 8 months? Well, they're asking because nobody wants to hire somebody and have them leave in 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 months. And if you're going to leave after 8 months because you job hop, then hiring you is actually a bad investment. So when they're asking you, why did you leave your last employer after 8 months? They're trying to figure out, how stable are you as an employee? The interviewer may ask you, what you liked the most about your last job and what you hated the most about your last job. And the reason that question is being asked because they can assess whether you'll be happy in that role or unhappy. And if it turns out you're going to be unhappy with the task because you were unhappy with the task in the past, then the likelihood of being able to retain you is a lot lower. So understand why you're being asked, what you're being asked, and make sure your answers are aligning with things that will make you a success at the organization, and things that will make you add value to the employer and contribute to the bottom line. The net result is that you should be giving more value to the company that's hiring you than the amount of money that they're paying you for the job. That's when it makes business sense to hire you. Good luck with your interview. इंटरव्यूअर जो है वो आपको यार you need to get the volume level down. My understanding that volunteer info कहाँ से कर दिया? Just kill my whole thing. Okay, तो आपको एडिट करना पड़ेगा.
आपकी हिम्मत को कोई दीवार ना रोक सके, इसलिए हम लाए ROZEE.pk, जहां मिले हजारों नई जॉब्स, आगे बढ़ने के हजारों नए मौके. बस खोलो, सर्च, अप्लाई और आगे बढ़ो. ROZEE.pk, पाकिस्तान नंबर 1 जॉब साइट.